Let's start for the details this afternoon. We are starting from the Upper West region, and rather on a very sad note, because the Director General of the Police Criminal Investigation Department is this afternoon leading a team of forensic investigators to Drapa in the Upper West region, where police continue to expand the scope of its investigations into the brutal murder of owner of the Drapa Dubai, if you like, Eric Johnson, a business mogul and CEO of Royal Cozy Hill Hotel, also known as Dubai, Drapa Dubai. Now, this incident happened last night, and the police director of the CID is leading a team to unravel the circumstances leading to the murder of the former hotel mogul. So this is what we know so far. They've picked up 7 workers of the hotel as investigations into the incident expand. And they include, one, we have some workers of the hotel. Kumbata Kwaku, he was the first to be arrested. And Dukuri Foster, also arrested by the police. Brian Makasim, Bayo Fellis, Michael Klugi. Individuals were arrested early on today, and this afternoon the police updated the list of those they have arrested so far. The number is now 7. That also includes Charles Tozi and Favor Nwagbe. So these are the individuals who've been arrested by the police in connection with the brutal murder of the CEO of Cozy Lodge, also known as Drapa Dubai. And according to reports, the murder was committed in Mr. Johnson's private residence, which is also on the same property as the hotel. And shortly we'll be speaking to Dr. Jones Opokuwari. He's a criminologist from the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Right now, let me take you to Drapa because my colleague Rafiq Salam is our man who is joining me via phone. Rafiq, good afternoon. Welcome to the Pulse. Rafiq Salam, if you can hear me, good afternoon, welcome to the Pulse. You've been on the beat since news broke of the murder of the businessman yesterday, and this afternoon you are at Drapa. Bring us up to speed. What has been happening in the last few hours? So we're trying to reconnect with Rafiq for him to tell us what is happening in Drapa. Remember that the police CID is leading a team to the community to start investigation, to try and unravel circumstances leading to the murder of the businessman. Already, the police have announced the arrest of 7 individuals. These are workers of the hotel, and as part of their preliminary probe into the matter. And 7 have already been arrested. I went through the names for you: Kumbata Kwaku, Dukuri Foster, Brian Makasim, Bayo Fellis, Michael Kluge. These are the individuals who've been arrested. They are all workers of the Cozy Hill Hotel in Drapa, and the police is expanding. So before we bring you Rafiq, let me go on Zoom right now and bring on Dr. Jones Opokuwari. He is a criminologist with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Dr. Opokuwari, good afternoon. Welcome to the Pulse.
Good afternoon to you, Ayrton. Good afternoon to your viewers as well.
Great. So looking at the sequence of events as reported by the police, 7 people are arrested so far, and these are workers of the hotel. Is it standard practice?
Yes, definitely. I think that is standard practice because, in criminal investigation, there's something we call 6 degrees of separation. What that means is that, normally in layman's language, we say a friend of a friend is a friend of a friend. So a lot of the times in criminal investigation, when we have to do such kind of investigations, we have to look at those that are very close. And looking at the nature of the kind of murder we are talking about, it presupposes and suggests that this may be people who are close to the man and probably has some form of an axe to grind to the man. So I think that what the police has done, it's something that is standard practice, and it is good that the police has moved in to do this investigation.
Right. Hold it there for me, Dr. Jones Opokuwari. Let me bring in Rafiq Salam, our reporter who is on the ground to tell us the very latest. Rafiq, you're welcome to the Pulse.
Thank you very much.
Right. So all morning we've been talking about what the police is doing, what the DISEC is doing. But you've been on DB since yesterday. Tell us what is the latest on the ground.
The latest is that the craft CID team that has been deployed by the Inspector General of the Ghana Police Service, Dr. George Akubo Adampare, arrived in the Upper West region this morning, and then after which they headed to Jaffa. So we got to Jaffa. We were told that they were inside the private residence of Eric Johnson, which was close to the public. And so we stood there for close to about 30 minutes. We didn't see any sign of a human coming from the residence. But what we saw was that there was a policeman who was peeping through the window of the gate, trying to see whatever that we were doing. From there, we went inside the Royal Police Hills Hotel where the workers were. And then we saw that the place looked deserted and almost looked like a ghost town. And then nobody actually was there except the few workers that were there. So we came down, we tried to speak to some members of the public talking about some leadership of the group and some workers in Java. And they were really disappointed in anger. And then also grieving over the loss of a man they call philanthropist extraordinaire. And also even some pupils from the public schools were really not happy, saying that they will not be able to see their uncle again. And so that is really the sad story at Girapa. And Girapa for now is mourning, Girapa is grieving, and then it's enveloped with a lot of sadness.
So let me ask you, Rafiq, we have personnel of the Ghana Police Service. They've come from Accra. Does it suggest that they've taken over the investigation for the local police?
Yes, for now, the local police they started the investigation and then it moved to the regional crime unit, and then who the from Accra also came and took over. But all these things they will do it, in collaboration with each other. And so for now, the Accra team are taking over the investigation to improve on what their subordinates from the region has been able to do in this particular case. But for now, the CID are strongly in charge of the case in the region.
All right. And again, for those who are joining us for the very first time and hearing this news, walk us through the sequence of events. In fact, we've been told that the assailant used a ladder, and as I come, he managed to get into the private residence of the business person. And after, he drove out of the compound in the deceased vehicle. Walk us through the sequence of events as you have been told.
It appears it's like a Hollywood movie. When we had this information that this alleged or this unknown assailant went into the compound using a ladder and then got into the private mansion of Eric Johnson, met him in his home using a Mastercard, met him when he was only wearing towel, he was armless, and he was able to use a sharp implement allegedly, and also stab him multiple times on the abdomen, on the chest, and also on the cheek, and also some parts of his hand. And later, he used a push key of the car of Eric and then moved out. When he got to the gate, it was the security man that informed, and who also with him for him to come to town and then jammed the car around the youth center. And that was exactly what happened.
But has
I'm thinking that if not the work of a professional, you wouldn't have been able to do that because it was done because they knew that the work of a professional who was well executed.
I know it's early days though, but in the police preliminary comments, have they come to some establishments whether this may constitute robbery or contract killing? Has they come to any such definition? For
now, the police have heard about whatever that transpired on Sunday, and then they are keeping their cars closer to their chest. It is not going to give them any information regarding a particular issue. And that's why I even told you that when we got to the private residence of Eric Johnson, it was close to the public. I could see a dozen of policemen that were around, and also the craft CID were also inside doing their work. So let me also say that this incident actually took place at the private residence of Eric Johnson and not the hotel. And so, but somehow it appears it's affecting the business of the hotel because the atmosphere there look like the hotel has been rejected and also look like a ghost town.
Yes, and I was coming to that, whether work is ongoing at the hotel or it's been suspended for now, and what is the general mood in the town of Drapa?
The people of Drapa, like I told you, that in every degree, and that was starving, the people are really not really happy. And for them, they think that if they had a opportunity of doing this known assailant, they themselves would have been dealt for another person. And so for them, they think that the staff is not only about Eric Johnson, but the whole of Drapa and the airport entirely. All
right. And what about the regional, the District Security Council, the Regional Security Council? Any comment from them?
Just 2 minutes ago, I spoke to the Minister of Security, Nicholas Kuyuri, who also doubles the Musek, what do you call it? The Musek chief, head of the Musek in the municipality. He told me that it's a tough situation, but he has started to do a thorough job before that the perpetrators of this starting like heinous crimes are brought to book.
All right. Rafi, before I let you go, are they hoping to do a media brief after their tour of the facility?
For now, as I told you, that they are playing their cards close to their chest. They are not telling anybody anything about that. They will only tell you that we are still investigating and that nothing has been said to the media or public about this particular incident. The information that we are gathering about is from the people who are closer to the hotel and also closer to the family. They are giving us this information regarding what will happen.
All right, thank you very much, Rafik. And the police, in their latest update, put a number of arrests at 7. And these are all workers of the facility. So clearly they are doing their own sorting and screening, and then to establish whether any of them may have a motive regarding the matter in question. But what about the family of the deceased? What are they saying? All right, so Rafik Salam is gone off the line, and we'll bring him back as and when it's necessary. But for now, that is the situation. The police latest statement on this matter is that 7 individuals have been arrested, and these 7 are all workers of the Cozy Hill Hotel, also known as Drapa Dubai, and they are, doing their own sorting and investigation. There is a team led by the director of CID. They went to Drapa this afternoon to take over investigation from the local police, and then we'll keep an eye on this matter. But let me again bring in Dr. Jones Opokuwa, who is a criminologist with the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. So, Doctor, you heard Rafik narrate what he's been told and what appears to be the sequence of events leading to the murder of the businessman. Would this qualify as a contract killing?
Well, it seems to have all the trappings of contract killing, or somebody who, as it were, and as I've already indicated, seems to have an axe to grind with a man. Because now, for every crime, especially for every murder, you have to look at the ingredients of the murder. For instance, was anything taken away from the crime scene? If there is something taken away from the crime scene like valuable, then you could suggest that maybe it's a robbery gone wrong or something like that. But the case that we are looking at seems to suggest that this was somebody that actually went into the place and just attacked the man. So, for instance, if you look at even the murder weapon, normally, if it is robbery, people will normally not go with, let's say, knives and those kind of, dangerous implements. They may go with guns and all that. So, if a person has to go with knife and have to stab somebody multiple times, then it suggests that this probably is an individual who have some kind of axe to grind with a person, probably might have done that with so much emotions and anger. So it seems to have all the trappings of serial killing, whether the person acting individually or, let's say, singly, or is also acting in conjunction with others. It seems to meet the criteria for some form of contract killing.
So with this at the back of your mind, how should the police go about this in terms of their investigation and to bring the culprit to book?
Yes, I think the police have done well. I mean, they've started the process in a very much decent manner. As I initially said, for such kind of cases, especially for murders like this, you have to apply the principles of 6 degrees of separation. You need to first talk to people who are close to the victim. So it's very important that the police started with the workers, because I mean, obviously these are people the man actually interacts with in his daily activities and all that. And now, what I will also suggest is that the police must extend, the search. It may not necessarily be only those who he's working with, probably friends, some other friends, or somebody might even be jealous of him and the kind of investment, he may have made in that part of the country. And personally, I have been to Japa, Dubai, which was last October, and Elton, trust me, this is a very nice edifice the man has put in that area. You may not know. Somebody might even feel jealous about that. So the police is not supposed to deal with only, the workers. They have to expand the search to include even friends and even family members, because you may not know. Because it had this kind of, all the characteristics of what serial killing and murder is. I suggest that we cannot only limit it to people who he's working with, but also expand the search to include people who are so much close, including friends and even family members.
There's this angle to the story about the security of the place. You said you've been there before, and from the stories that we've been told, the deceased lived just not far from the hotel facility. Now, for those who've been there, according to them, they had an elaborate security system to the extent that even assessing the private residence required the use of a key card. Now, this person went through all of this, had access to the private residence. After the murder, he drove out of the compound. The security, on duty, allowed the person because he was driving the vehicle belonging to the deceased. What does this say about the kind of security arrangement we have in some of these places in terms of, our personal protection?
Yes, when I was there, in fact, I lived there for, I think, 4 days, and all the rooms had these security, keys. Obviously, even within the compound, if you want to even access even the safari and all those, the security was quite tight, because at every point in time, when you move in, people are there watching your every move and that. So in terms of the security and the safety of the place, I am quite surprised somebody could actually, trespass into the man's house. And that is what gives me on the indication that this probably is an inside job, and this probably might be somebody so close to the man. Because, Elton, let's be honest, if somebody is not so close to you, the person might not necessarily even know all the, the places, all the routine activities you engage in, even the configuration of your home. Because from what Rafik said, this may be somebody who have gone into the house, trespassed the place with a ladder, and had some form of a master key. And now, if you are not so close to the man and you don't know the configuration of his home, how would you even know that this is the exit and even the entry points to the home, for which will give you some kind of easy access to the person? That is why I'm saying that looking at the ingredients of this murder, it raises more questions. And that is why I've suggested that the police will have to expand the search, because it tells me that the person who is responsible for the murder of this man is not so far from him. Therefore, we have to be very careful and be more attentive to the details.
And if this is a contract killing, then the next question surely will be, as a country, have we gotten to that stage? I remember some time back, the former deputy managing director of the Ghana Commercial Bank, Wojo Frimpong, was murdered. The claim was that it was a contract killing. Up to now, there's not been a conclusion on that matter. This is on our hand. If this is indeed constitute contract killing, then as a country, has it come to say, or something that we believe in it, but we are yet to appreciate it?
Well, I think it's something that is in the country. People do that. I mean, even at a very localized level. Sometimes because some of these cases involve, let me say, very prominent and high-profile people, that is why it becomes something like a hula baloo. But look, even at a localized level, based on some of the issues that we know and we deal with because of the sector we work with, you get to the point to know that there are even times that just giving people loans, and when it is time for people to even repay you, people can even go contract people to come and clear you off because they don't want to pay back the loans. So these are things that are there. But you see, the problem is that because over the period we've had this penchant to politicize crime, especially murders, and make it look as if these are political crimes. It makes it very difficult for us to appreciate that this is something that is happening in the country, and therefore this is something that we have to put our foot on. So even when it is clear and looking at us within the eyes, it becomes very difficult for us to accept. But the truth of the matter is that this is something that has been with us for a long time. And even within the local context, as I've said, people have gone through, people have become victims of such vicious acts. And it is something that we are still grappling with as a country in terms of its appreciation.
All right, thank you very much, Dr. Jones Opoku-Ware. And on your screen, I mean, some of the issues that, or some of the cases of murder that some of them conclusion is yet to be established on. We have the former member of parliament for Bokwa North, J.B. Danko-Adu, who was murdered at his home on February 9, 2016. The trial is still ongoing. The suspect, also known as Sexy Gogome, is facing trial. There's also a call here for the former member of parliament for Mfanseman in the central region. He was also murdered on October 9, 2020. The suspect, they've been sentenced. And then Professor Emmanuel Yao Bene, former lecturer, University of Ghana Law School, September 12, 2020. Lead suspect died in police custody. And I also mentioned about the former deputy managing director of the Ghana Commercial Bank, Rojo Frimpong. Conclusion has yet to be established on this matter. And as we heard from Dr. Jones Opoku-Ware, we appears to be living with this phenomenon of contract killing. It's just about you protecting yourself. So this is the pulse with me, Elton Brobe. More issues on this. Rafik Salam is still in the community. We'll bring you more as and when we have it.